Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm going to be breaking down how to identify which 50% levels you are going to be kind of looking for to use and which ones really take more prioritization. So right now I'm looking at current price, but if I were to go back a little bit further, so right now I'm currently on the hourly time frame right now. So what I want to look for first is a clear bias. Are we on a strong uptrend or are we on a strong downtrend? Whatever has a stronger move is going to be your key kind of range for your 50% levels. So anytime you see anything like this, nice clean move to the upside, you're going to look for the retracement and take your long off of there. So if we were going off of this trend right here, we have a nice strong uptrend right here. We're going to look for retracing back to this level, and that's where we would want to take longs and potentially targeting these highs if we don't choose to come back to that yet. So that's how we kind of find our 50% level on a larger time frame, and this is also the same thing you could do on a lower time frame too, right? So let's go down to our 15 minutes. So here, right, you see a nice uptrend, nice downtrend. So we do the same thing here. Go on top, just like that, drag it out, and you're gonna be essentially looking for retracement back. How I draw my 50s is if we're going downwards, right? So move back to the hourly, right? Or sorry, if we're going upwards first, we're gonna draw it from top to bottom, like this, right? Top to bottom. Same thing here. Top to bottom. You get a super nice entry off of that. So that's how I draw those out. And then it fits on a downtrend, right? A nice strong downtrend. We're gonna go bottom to top. Just like that. So nice downtrend right there. So you're going to go for your stronger ones. Now let's say we're on the 1 minute, right? We're like, okay, hey, it's super flat. There's honestly really no need to be trading that. Just, wait for the nicer setup. Look for a nice trend and a nice push. Then you can take that trade, right? So here on the top, nice short right there. But if you want to play it even more safer, you just dial into a higher time frame first before you take your entries. So off this 15 minute, we have a nice strong downtrend here. So we're going to draw it out from like this. Right, so here we had another short entry, potentially targeting those lows. Now here we have a nice uptrend, right? So we're going to go top to bottom. We see here we're actually rejecting this 50% level. So if we see it reject again, right, we could target these highs or even just this high right here. That's how I would be playing that out. Right now, market is going a little bit to the right, so I'm not really expecting too much. So SMA is crossing too. And we have a pretty large scale move to the upside, so let's go and see if we made a proper retracement yet. So we did there, and we did here too. So we've been making really nice retracements along the whole way. So, as long as we hold above this, we can look for the trend to continue to the upside and potentially push even higher. Now, one thing I want to go over too is when you guys are using order blocks and fair value gaps and everything like that, you want to do the same thing. Look for the stronger trend, right? Those are going to give you a higher probability chance, and just overall, you just got better odds of the trade playing out in your favor. So I'm going to give you guys an example right here. So here we have a nice clean downtrend, right? On the 15 minute, so I'm going to go ahead and draw out a fair value gap because this is a nice 3 candle move right here. You can see here that inversed it, and you could have taken a long off of that. Now let's say if we were to use a smaller one like this, right? to our lower time frame. If we could even find out where that zone was that we drew. So just right here. So this one worked out fine, but it's just more chances, right? Chances. So we go back into our 15-minute, right? So here it is actually a pretty strong uptrend, so this would actually still be valid and be a more higher probability. Now one thing I'm trying to use as an example, if we look a little bit, so here uptrend, really strong uptrend. So it's like whenever the market's flat, right? Like in general, just try not to trade when the market's super flat, because you will get cooked on the consolidation. Consolidation is really risky and hard to trade, right? So like for example here, like trying to draw your gaps out, it's really weird. But you can see that here it inversed it. So yeah, anyways, just look for a higher scale move, look for a higher scale volume, you know, just anything that kind of shows like, hey, we have strong direction in a certain, well, direction, you know? So anything that has a larger push, like here downtrend, look for either inverse or a retracement back and just continuation, right? So on and so on. So here we're still looking for us to hold this level. You could potentially even, like I was saying earlier, you could have taken those longs and just look for it to take out those previous highs. Now one thing to keep in mind when you are using this, right? Remember, you're trading within a range, right? So if we're just using this small scale swing, right? So we have this high, we have this low. Draw our 50 out. It's actually 60%. So just like that. We're looking for it to hold above this and potentially take out the highs again. Or, you know, come lower, take out the lows. So here we can see that we took out the highs, right? So immediately we thought, okay, we're back within the range. We're looking for it to come back to the 50%, because anytime we're back within the range, come back to the 50. Now one thing that's really important to understand is the retracements, right? Just because we're coming out of 50, you know, you can always be lucky, right? So it's either you hop in while it's already in motion and you get lucky, or you just simply play the waiting game. As a trader, you are going to do yourself a favor by playing the waiting game. It helps you develop that patience and just a mindset, you know, hey, if my setup's not there, then I'm not going to take a trade. You're already doing way better than the majority of people if you aren't taking any trades. So that's that. We just covered your range, higher probability, and just overall what to look for when you are planning on taking a trade. Now, one thing I want to go over again is your entries, right? So let's just use this range right here. That's not correct. Top to bottom. There we go. Nice and smooth. So here we take out the bottom of this range, right? This swing, and here we take out the high. So we took out the highs twice, and we made a triple top. So right now we're looking for potential retracement back to the sell side and take it to more lows, just because we are pretty overbought, right? We want to see a nicer retracement. But how do you know if we are going to get back to that retracement? That's when we're using our other ranges like this, right? So we drag this out. And here you can see if we're using these highs and lows here of this large move to the upside, we're already back at the 50, right? So we want to see where it goes off of there. So from here on, we would still be long bias. And on the smaller scale, essentially the same thing, right? So it's either it holds above this section and continues upwards and then continues to keep going. But if it breaks back below, you can just look for it to come back to the 50. Remember, your 50 is going to be acting like a magnet. Right? If you don't take out a high, don't take out the low. Just look for the 50 again. Another really good thing to look for is larger scale ranges, right? So here we've actually just been consolidating like crazy. But we also had a really nice move to the upside. Right there. So I'm essentially using this start of the move and this high. And here we got a range breakout. So we broke out of this consolidation and we broke out of this swing. We never came back for this, but hey, bull run, just like keep going, keep buying, right? Just look for your retracements. But now back to the entry, right? Me personally, I like to trade one bias unless I am scalping. I'll be really quick with it. So we're gonna go back into our hourly. We have this range here, top to bottom. So we're looking for longs again, just to take out this intermediate high, as it did reject 50. So when you're looking for entries, obviously you can go to lower time frame, right? Honestly, it's okay to play it on the 1 minute. It's okay to play on the 5. If you want to get super precise entries, 1 minute's your guy, right? But if you want better confirmation, just go with the 5. Look for a 5-minute candle close, and look for your other confluence, such as, whatever you use, whether it's a breaker block, order block, for value gap, whatever. As the 50% level, it does act as all of those at the same time. But if you look here, we have a bullish fair value gap, and we also have a bearish one too at the same time. So you can use your confluences. That's really important when you're doing entries. Never trade off of just one simple method unless that method has all the confluences that you need. You always want to make sure you have that, right? And just trade the trend. Yeah, it's super nice when you're catching reversals all the time, right? But sometimes it's even easier on yourself as a trader to just simply be looking for the retracements. But besides that, I think that's all I'm really going to cover for today. Make sure you guys let me know in the Discord what else you guys want me to cover.